Hello, hello, hello. How are you all? How is everybody doing? How are you? It always takes a moment, this weird space between when the video actually goes live and when I start talking but anyway, I digress. Hello, how are you? Happy Monday. I hope you're all having a fantastic start to the week. Um, I used to start this with, "What did you do this weekend?" I'm guessing most of us, well, we should have been at home. So not a lot to talk about there, but I wanted to remind you that we did launch the Ndini app last week. So if you haven't already, download the app. I've been getting so much great feedback from people who love the app. It's another way for you to consume content from us. We have a daily quote. We have a daily quote of the day. We have obviously the episodes that are the episode that is for this week. This week we have a fantastic episode with Camille Dundas. Camille Dundas she's from, I think she's originally from St. Lucia. Forgive me, I forget where. She's from one of the islands originally, but she went on to become a very, very established producer, journalist for many of the national publications and many of the national networks in Canada. And so we talked about her career in journalism, what led her to wanting to pursue a career in journalism, and then why she pivoted, because she actually left that career a few years ago to go and do something completely different, part of which is a platform that she's created with her husband called By Blacks, which is really focused on sharing the stories of inspiring, trailblazing Black people in Canada, in Canadian communities, and also in promoting their businesses. So definitely worth checking out. I had a great time with Camille when we filmed that episode. So, like I said, go download the Ndini app. It is available for Android. It is available for Apple in the Apple Store. So go download that. And something else as well that I mentioned, if you watched last week, that I'll be launching is a Telegram channel. Now, for those of you who are asking, what is Telegram? Why would I use it? It's another way. One of the pieces of feedback that I got from our community was that they love the content, they want to consume the content, but sometimes data is an issue, especially for something like this with a Facebook Live where it takes up a lot of data, or even the episodes when we publish them, they take up a lot of data. So Telegram is free. It's a free app. It works very similar to how WhatsApp operates. And the only reason I didn't create it on WhatsApp is because WhatsApp has a limitation in terms of how many people you can have on the channel. So sign up for that. You can find me. You can do a search on Telegram. It's called Inspiration with Sandra. So look that up. We're going to provide a link below. Join me. I will be sharing inspiration, words of inspiration, things that I find interesting, that I hope will uplift you. I'll be publishing that Monday to Friday. It'll be super short little snippets, but just something up to share to help you get your day started. With that said, I wanted to share with you something that I was reading over the weekend. It was actually a quote. It was a quote from Mike Tyson. Now, I'm not a boxing fan. I rarely watch boxing. I think the only time I watch boxing is when they have the big, big matches that are hyped up, and that's about the only time that I pay attention. So if you'd ask me who is the heavyweight champion of the world right now, no idea. None at all. But I read a quote from Mike Tyson, and this is from actually a long time ago. I didn't realize how long ago this was. This is from 1997. Now, you may or may not remember that he had a famous, or infamous, shall we say, fight with Evander Holyfield, which involved some biting. Let's just put it that way. And of course, there was a lot of hype going into that fight. And before the fight, he was interviewed and he was asked about, what's your strategy, Mike? How are you going to approach it? What are you going to do? All of those things. And he said this quote. He said, "Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth." And I thought to myself, gosh, it really felt when I read that like right now, literally, as a collective, as the world, we have been punched in the mouth. We all had plans. Coming into 2020, remember when you said, this is my year, this is my decade, I'm going to do all these things, I'm going to achieve all these goals. This is it. This is my year. Yes, guilty as charged. I was one of those people where this was going to be the year that I did all these things that I've been putting off, did all these things, finally achieved all these goals that I've been working towards. Well, like Mike Tyson said, we all got punched in the mouth. But here's what I wanted to say is that even though as a collective we've been punched in the mouth, this doesn't mean that the goal changes. This does not mean that your goal must change. What's going to change is the plan. What's going to change maybe is how long it's going to take you to get to that goal. But I want this to be your reminder that yes, the plan is not going according to plan. But that's not an excuse for you to give up on your goals. That's not an excuse for you to give up on the dreams that you had at the beginning of this year. What it is an opportunity for you to revisit that plan and to say, in light of everything that is going on, in light of everything that has changed, how do you pivot? How do you create a new plan? How do you still work towards achieving your goals? And I especially wanted to remind you today because today is the first Monday in April, which means 3 months have already gone past in this year. If you're in business, you know they talk about quarters, Q1, Q2. Q1 is done. We're now in Q2. So that means there are 9 months left in this year. That's a lot of time, but it's also not a lot of time. So get busy figuring out, yes, the original plan has to change. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But if the plan has to change, what needs to change? Now is your time to figure that out. Now is your time to think about that. Now, for many people, you have the luxury of time to actually sit and strategize. And something else that I always remind you of is the power of writing it down. For many years, I was one of those people who had a goal. I knew in my head, this is what I want to do, but I never committed it to paper. And I'm going to tell you that there is magic in writing your goal down. There is magic in measuring against that goal, in keeping yourself accountable, in checking in every day, every week, every month with the progress that you're making towards that goal, and then pivoting when you have to. So like Mike Tyson said, everybody had a plan until they get punched in the mouth. And the difference between a champion and those who never achieve their goals is that a champion's going to get up. A champion's going to think of a plan B, a plan C, and a plan D. So wanted to remind you of that. Have an amazing week. Stay safe, stay home, and thank you to all of those who are on the front lines of dealing with this crisis, who don't have the option to stay home, who don't have the option to distance themselves. Stay safe. Have a great week, everybody. Bye. Thank you so much for